So you can probably tell that I'm sick, and it's Morgan, by the way. And I usually edit these discussion videos and I try to add like photos so as you're watching them, you can kind of like see what we're talking about. But I don't really feel good, and I also it's going to be like 10 hours if I do stuff like that since I have to edit so many of these videos. So I'm just going to be doing the boring like posters of this drama, and then hopefully next week when we're all caught up because stuff happened, then I can start kind of editing it the way I do my other discussion videos. But I hope you guys still enjoyed this discussion video. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna go take some medicine and go to bed. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to another discussion video, and my name is Morgan, and over there is Sam. If I sound like a dying whale cat, it's because I'm,
Oh, the Hellcat.
I don't know, a whale cat. It's because like I've been getting over a really bad sickness, cold thingy. Um, if I also cut off in and out, it's because I have this really nasty cough, and sometimes I need to mute my mic to cough it out. So please just ignore my voice, or I don't know if you can or not because I'm going to be talking. But we're going to be discussing episode 9 of Master Ruler, or no, Ruler of the
9 and 10, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're doing
I
all
forgot the
four.
name of this drama. It's like Ruler, Master of the Mass. That's what it is. I forgot for a second. I'm sorry. Um, but anyways, I do you want to start, or do you want me to start it?
And I'll start.
Okay, go ahead.
So, episode 9 picks up like right where episode 8 left off, which is us watching the fight scene happen in the palace, and ultimately Prince Sun's father ended up being stabbed. And so there's a huge fight scene. I think there was like a continuation of it, and they actually elongated it a little bit more. Um, and eventually, Prince Sun and his bodyguard, um, it's not Commander Lee, is it? What's his bodyguard's name?
His it's the king's bodyguard, or the
His
prince's
friend. So the
his
king's
friend's.
bodyguard is his friend's father,
Yeah, and then his bodyguard's name is Chung Moon.
Chung Woon. So Chung Woon and Prince Sun run from the palace, and the fight kind of follows them a little bit outside, and it just kind of continues on, and it ends up that Chung Woon's father says that they both need to run, they need to go, the prince needs to be saved, and ultimately Chung Woon's father dies as well. He ends up getting sliced across the center. So they end up running into the woods and being chased after the bad guys and everything.
Yeah,
And
can I just say where okay, so we had all these scenes before of the prince being able to fight, and it's like, where's the prince sword skills now?
yeah,
Like
I know they like disappeared all of a sudden.
they like I don't know where they went. They disappeared.
And then
Like,
he became like a scaredy cat of like
yeah. Um
crying.
Also, I think that it stinks that not only did the prince lose his father, the like his friend Chungwoo lost his father too, and just it's like a double sword. Because
Right,
that other guy, Chungwoo's father, it was probably his second father too. Um,
right.
but go ahead, finish what you're saying, Sam.
So they're in the woods, and Chung Woon ends up like coming up with a plan that like they need to separate. Um, yeah, they needed to separate,
I
and
just
it just
love. Wait, sorry. I just like I died when the prince like looked at Chungwoo, and he was like, "Don't leave me, don't leave me." Like I was like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Don't die," and I was like,
right.
"It's because the prince couldn't handle anyone else he loved dying," and I was like, "Oh my god, kill
I
me
know
now."
it was one loss after another for him.
Yeah, exactly.
So ultimately, the climax of this, the splitting up doesn't really work, and Prince Sun ends up at like the edge of a cliff, and ultimately ends up like falling to
Yeah,
what is supposed to be his death.
Okay,
Uh,
so I when that scene played out, I was like, I swear to God, if they pull this whole like amnesia, forgetting who you are shit, I'm done. Like I literally thought they were gonna do that.
I would have been. I didn't see as that coming. I kind of saw what was going to end up happening. Kind of like them thinking he's dead from one way or another and kind of just leaving him be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Hwagun ends up showing up, crazy freaking stalker girl, and she has this like elixir potion thingy that I guess like drops your pulse to almost nothing, and so you can't feel it. So ultimately, you think that they're dead. And then Daybok shows up and with all of his goonies, thinking that like he just won the ultimate battle. The prince is dead, the king is dead, the king's guardsman is dead. They have the fake prince, which is the peasant son, and like everything in Daybok's eyes is going the way it's supposed to, and he now wins, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
and
in all of this too, Prince Sun's mother also dies as well.
yeah. The consort, not the
Yeah,
queen. The consort
the
died,
queen's
which
alive.
the queen's alive. Also, that whole plan to hide the prince's face kind of backfired real quick
So
because
hard too. Oh my
yeah, because
god.
it's like I thought it was gonna be like the prince. They believed that peasant son was the prince, and peasant son would live in the palace.
Hmm.
Um, while Prince Sun kind of like lived outside the palace trying to figure things out, like what he's doing now. But what really happened was they figured this whole thing out because, of course, the flippin' prince shouts out "Dad" when his father gets murdered, and so they're like, okay, obviously this guy who's in front of us, peasant son, isn't the real prince. So after they see that Prince Son is AKA not really dead but kind of dead, um, they look at peasant son and they're like, okay, you're gonna be the next king and you're gonna be our puppet and yeah. So I guess I get the name now of the drama because obviously like ruler of the mask like because you have to wear the mask to be a ruler. But also while this is happening, Guyon escapes from the palace, and I also was very kind of annoyed because I'm like, dude, the consort just died. She just told you about a pot in the greenhouse that can like solve your issue, and you can figure out your or not figure out, but like something to do with her father's death. To like revenge her father's death or to have information on her father's death. I'm assuming it has something to do with um Pai Sawang. I can't say that his name. Pang Sui. Um
Yeah.
but she escapes, she leaves the palace. What does she do? She stares up at the moon. She escapes and stares at the moon and thinks about the prince. And I'm like, shouldn't you be looking for that pot? Like, what is going on? I don't even understand.
Okay, dramas. You gotta love them.
No, I'm like, you have one thing to do and you don't do it.
You had one job.
One
Couldn't do
job.
it.
Nope. And then the queen meets peasant son, and peasant son is dressed up as a king. And right away, you can tell right away the queen knows that this is not the prince. Like this is not her son.
Well, it
And
also didn't help too that he's still like for someone who's supposed to be acting like the prince and now the king, he holds his shoulders very forward. He's very like timid and shy and everything. And the prince and the king is supposed to be like this strong, powerful person who's
yeah,
supposed to like exude confidence. And I'm like, dude, you're doing a shit job. Like, you now have a role to play, and you are
yeah.
not playing it.
No, well, why? Because he's so scared.
Yo, I understand that, but
But yeah, but my thing was like, she probably figured it out probably because he wasn't crying because the prince cries every 2 seconds. So I'm like, okay, he's not crying. The queen's probably like, yeah, you're not my boy. My boy would be sobbing right now if his father died. But
right.
she is kind of ordered, but not really ordered, but
kind of like asked to give over the
Yeah, she
throne.
was pushed pretty hard to like
Give the
give the
throne.
king's seal over.
Yeah, and which she does, but you can definitely tell that she is plotting something, not potting something, plotting something.
Right. And she ends up like pretty quickly we end up finding out what she's going to be doing. And she comes in and this is a very smart move on her part a little bit because she knows that Daemok is going to be controlling another puppet king. And so she comes in as um the what they call her, a dowager queen.
Yeah, so she's
And
like helping doing responsibilities of the king, basically.
yeah, and she ends up positioning herself as queen regent with the um logic of he is not yet an adult, and so how can you expect a child to take this responsibility? I will take care of it and run the country until he's old enough, which in a sense buys her a little bit of time because I think what the age of adulthood's like 20 or whatever, so she's
Yeah,
got like 3 years to
yeah.
find out what's happened to the
I
real
think it
prince
was,
son.
I think it was 5 years, or maybe it was less than that. 5 years or 3 years, I can't remember.
Well,
Um,
3 years to adulthood, but the drama ends up jumping 5 years.
5 years. Yeah, that makes sense because I'll explain it later on. But also Puzawan and Daemon, what the big issue is, the reason why the queen kind of steps in, or she was not stepping anyways, but they want the authority to print or print money.
Print
Puzawan
water.
does, the water bureau does. They
Yeah.
want to print the money and they want to control the currency, and the queen does not want that. Like obviously, because that'd be too much power towards the water bureau. So later on, when she rejects it, because she does decline the request to print money, the Pusawan is obviously upset because the queen comes from a powerful family, and more than half of the royal army is on her side. So Daemon tells the others to make loans to people, um, which his son kind of doesn't get at first. He's like, "Why are we making loans?" And he's like, "Just
Right.
do it." But he says, make loans to people, since the army will be powerless without money. So,
Right. So,
but also, so um, while this is happening, the bodyguard, aka Chungwon, um, basically undigs the prince and finds him in his grave, is crying, but then all of a sudden Prince Sun moves and he brings him to Wubu. And unknown to Haigun and Goon, I'm sorry, um they don't realize that he's actually been digged up until later on,
right.
because uh they basically buried him, and then Haikun was like, "No, don't bury him." And then she like passed out. And then when she came to, she went back and he was already unburied, so she couldn't save him.
People
Uh,
pass out way too easily in this drama. Let's just put that one out there real quick.
yeah, they're like out like flies. They cry too much and then they faint too much. But basically, he wakes up and he wants to he realized that basically everyone he loves, his father, the bodyguard, the consort, um is all dead, and that his friend, I guess his one day best friend, is now the king.
His one day best friend.
It is like, he was like, one day he's like, "I hate you," and then 2 hours later he's like, "You're my best friend, here's my friendship bracelet." Like,
Right.
that's how it is. um and then um So, do you want to talk about what's happening to Guyon's village?
Yeah, so basically they're being evicted.
Yeah,
Long story short, they're being evicted. They're being sent to this area that we know nothing about except that I guess it's difficult to farm the land that they're being sent to. Um And I mean, everybody obviously freaks out because like their livelihoods are there, their farming is there. Like, how are they supposed to survive? And Gaun, like, surprisingly slash I'm not shocked, but like it's kind of nice to see is that she takes a leadership role in this, and she's like, "Look, we're gonna go, and we're going to be successful. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
let's just go."
But let's not even talk about how the fact that she got slapped in the face by the bad perm guy.
Oh, I know, right? Oh my God, he made
Yeah.
who? Oh my, who made his hair? Because I am pretty sure they don't have crimping brushes during the Joseon dynasty. I am just saying. I don't know whose hair would look like that.
Yeah, he looks like my middle school days when I used to crimp my hair. Like, I'm not even lying. Um, but they go to that village and they set up a trading company.
Hmm.
And it's really cool how, like, she's like, let's do it. And it's kind of nice that she's not that crying girl who's, like, worrying about herself and stuff like that. But,
Right.
the prince son goes to get revenge. But Woo Boo actually stops him. And hold on a minute.
So Wubo, yeah, he does stop him and is like, "Look, you can't be running after him recklessly doing whatever you feel like doing because you're just going to cause more chaos and more issues." Um, and he's like, he gives him the same advice that he gives Daemok, but like, you can kind of already see that like it's a yin and yang thing. Daemok took it in the wrong way, and he became the evil. But you know that Prince Sun's gonna take it in the good way, and he's gonna become the good.
Yeah.
And um, he's like, just you need to wait. Just stop what you're doing now and wait. Which is unfortunate because it's like he just lost everything.
Yeah.
So why would you want to wait? But I mean, he makes a lot of sense too. He's like, you can't just go running in.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. And
but he's like, become the master. Don't
don't be
don't
a
allow other
dog.
people. Don't be a dog. Become the master.
Yeah. But I like when he was on the mountaintop and he like promised that he was like looking at the palace and he was like, I promise I will rescue my BFF, aka peasant son. And he also promises that he'll rescue his kingdom. And I like the fact that the bodyguard was like, I will go with you. You don't even have to ask me. And
Right.
and he's like, you point where you want to go and I'll follow you. And I think that like shows you the bodyguard's loyalty to the prince is huge, even though in the first couple episodes we didn't even get to see the bodyguard whatsoever.
Right. And I'm kind of excited that like the it seems like the bodyguard's going to get a little bit of a bigger storyline than you would expect. Which is I think going to be really nice because I want to see their friendship.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. So the episode ended though with basically him seeing Guyon basically getting water from a well with her villagers,
I
and
know, which is
she
so
looks
awesome.
happy. Yeah, and it's like, ha, you can't tax this. I want to swear
And he
right now,
like
but I
drinks from
can't.
the bucket like it's like the best thing he's ever had.
Yeah, probably because they're all like been like dehydrated
Right.
for like ever because of the fact that they have to pay for water. They can't get water after a certain time, which is stupid.
But so Prince Sue ends up or Prince Sue. Wow. Prince Sun ends up finding the village and everything, and he kind of like he sees them having their celebration and whatnot. And he decides instead of going like toward Gaon, he turns away and walks away from her. And like she
Yeah,
sees him, but he also knows like how much pain he's caused her. And ultimately he decides that like it's probably best if he just walks away. And I
yeah,
kind of agree with that. Like I think it's better if he walks away and figures out what the heck he's going to do and what's going on before he like tries to bring other people into his life because his life's going to get crazy real fast.
yes, exactly. Um, Now leading on to episode 10. Da da da. So episode 10. Um, so basically, I love the fact that Prince Sun. Are we still calling him Prince Sun? Can we still call him Prince Sun? Because he's now officially the king, really.
He is officially the king, but we still have two sons. So,
So should we just call him King's Son and peasant son? I'm so confused. Let's just go
No.
off of what we've been doing.
Yeah, we'll just call him Prince. I don't care if he's a king right now. The kid's 17 years old. He's a prince. Let's go.
Yeah. So Prince Sun basically was like, Boo Boo, tell me how to defeat them. Just tell me.
And Wubo's drunk as a skunk and he's
Yeah.
like sleeping in
He's
the
like,
field.
pretty much. And then this paddler comes over, and Boo Boo's like, yo, take this kid. Like, take this kid. And at first I'm like, Boo Boo, are you just trying to push this kid off onto other people? Like, what are you doing? But then you do realize finally, Boo Boo wants him to be a paddler so he can gain support throughout the village, through the people and through the merchants, people that actually can support him to get to the
Right.
palace.
Well, that and also the like the pack merchants, I think is what they were calling them. They run through all the major cities, so they're like almost like a network of information as well. So if he has them like following him, or at least like the trust of him, then he's gonna get the information that he needs. He's gonna kind of like he's gonna become a part of this bigger network instead of just being one solitary person. He's going to have all of these people around him who are going to be able to help him. And he needs
Exactly.
loyalty. He needs an army of people behind him because right now I don't think the people trust the crown very much.
Nope. And I also the way the traders were like the main trader, the chief trader, was giving him so much shit from calling him like a burden to
Hmm.
even like hitting him, and I'm like, boy, if you even knew who he
I
really
know.
was,
I was
like,
thinking the same thing too. But you know what? I'm glad that Prince Sun didn't pull the prince card though, that he just kind of was like okay and kept his head down a little bit.
yeah. But by the way, where was the bodyguard between the whole like when the prince son was dealing with the paddlers
I
in the
don't
start? In the start,
know.
he was like gone. He's like, well, he's like, you can handle the heavy lifting. Like, I'm gonna take a vacation real quick. Like, you're good.
Right?
Um, but one of the scenes that really touched me was when Prince Sun wanted to give money to a woman whose husband passed away, and he was a
Yeah.
paddler, and the leader of the paddlers wanted to use the money that they got from, like, I guess taxing the other merchants to basically buy drinks and stuff like that. But Prince Sons convinced him and convinced the other paddlers to use the money towards the woman and her funeral, and that they
Right.
could use the other money for them. So when they get hurt or if they die, they have money.
And I
Which
like the whole scene, like when they were all drinking and everything, and he's like, "Look, we can use this. Like, we're meant to die for the road, or we're supposed to like live for the road, or whatever. And why not use the money that we make to help each other out and help other people out as well, instead of just using it for alcohol?" And the leader's like, "Dude, I just want to get drunk. Like,
yeah,
that's all I want to do." And he's like chasing him around everywhere and yelling
yeah,
at him, and
it's like,
the
give me my
prince son's
money.
like dancing around the tables and stuff. I enjoyed that scene a little bit.
Yeah, I liked the beginning when he was trying to find his footing with the peddlers. I really enjoyed that. I also we also get to meet a new character, which is not really a new character, but she kind of is, and her name is, I don't know how to say this. Komu. And she
Oh.
is it's like KKOMOOL, and she is Peasant Son's little sister.
Oh yeah, Wiggly.
Yeah, Wiggly. Can I just call her Wiggly?
Yeah, we can just call her Wiggly because I think
Um,
that's adorable.
so Wiggly is adorable, and we also find that Guyan and is basically living and helping Wiggly and Peasant Son's mother, and I love the fact how blunt Wiggly is, because like the first scene we see her is when Guyan, she thinks she sees Prince Sun, but in
Yeah.
reality, it's just so I maybe she did see him. I think she maybe have seen him. I can't remember if it was actually him, but I like the fact that Wiggly was like, "Uni, are you still stuck on Chulsu?" And I was like, "Oh my god, kid, I like you already."
Right. We also need to like put a little bit of a footnote on this. This is 5 years later. So
Oh yeah,
Wiggly
sorry.
was a baby and now she is like 4 or 5 years old.
Yes.
And she is
Um,
a little sass, and that is
She
amazing.
is. I love it. I can see where Peasant Son gets it from though. Like, because you can tell in the beginning he was kind of sassy, but
Yeah.
now like they're kind of breaking him. But my thing is, like the whole scene when the mom was crying, like when she went back and they were like, "Oh, do you miss like son?" and the mom was crying, it hurt me. And
Right.
which makes you wonder, do you think they know what happened to Peasant Son, or do they think he like ran away or was killed,
I
or just
think
they
they're
assume he ran
just
away?
I think she's hoping for the best but expecting the worst kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because her husband was already killed by the Pyongsu Hui, and her son also worked for them as well. So who knows what happened to him? Maybe they killed him in revenge for killing, or like, or I don't know. They don't know what happened to him. He just disappeared, basically. And Gaen's not aware of what's happened, and if she ever saw his face, she would know what happened to him, but that's
Yeah,
probably not going
exactly.
to happen till later on down the line, probably.
Yep.
Uh,
So the queen, do you want to talk? Well, the queen, by force, basically,
yeah.
has to give up her seat, and she gives the royal seal to Peasant Son.
hmm
Yeah, you can see how mad she was. Do you think she was really mad? She was
But
like, yeah.
he ends up standing his ground.
Oh, that.
Stupidly.
Yeah, yeah,
But he ends up standing his ground. So, like, she didn't make a bad decision at that point. He made a bad decision, but she didn't.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
she's like, okay, I will hand this over. And they basically almost immediately are like, okay, we want to hang all these people and everything. And like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
it reminds of when his father was hung, and he kind of had like freaks, and for good reason. And I was really, really glad that a little bit of force came out of him. Like, he may not be the rightful king, but he's in the king's position, and he had to make a royal decision, and I'm glad he did.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I, I, I like the fact that he stands up for himself too, which was nice because I was like, oh god, Peasant Son is now fully in charge. What's gonna happen?
Right.
Also, Monk orders everyone to gather their people's debts, like within like I think it was something ridiculous, like 14 or 15 days, like something very fast. Um, and he wants to save the money, all the money that they get. He wants to basically hoard it, and his son doesn't understand why. And I'm like, dude, do you not understand? Your father's trying to control the flow of cash, so they'll have no choice to depend on Pusawan, so they can print money. Like,
hmm
you don't. I can see why his father gets frustrated with him.
Yeah.
And then the guy who used to have a bad perm but must have earned money, so now he has straight hair, is being a tool. Like, he is being a tool. He's smashing Avengers plates. Like, this woman is just putting these plates out. Like, there's no issue. She's not even really paying attention to what he's doing. And he's just gonna be like walk around and be like, "Opa!" throwing down the plates. Like, no, stop. And then that little
let's
girl
let's
crying.
put a little bit of a opa is also a Greek term for like ole
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I
it's
didn't mean
not
like
opa, like opa.
yeah, yeah. I didn't mean like oppa, like
No,
opa,
I knew
opa.
what you meant, but like, we do have a South Korean audience. We just gotta like put a cultural note in there that like, that is like, for whatever reason in Greek weddings they smash it and yell opa. So
Yes.
there you go.
Yes. Do you
And it's
want?
spelled differently.
Yes. Do you want to talk about what Guyan decides to do after the bad guy with bad hair but straight hair comes and asks for debts?
So God ends up finding, or like hearing rumors about someone called, like, they just call him the boss. It's like no context, but just the boss of the pack people.
Peddlers. He's like a
Yeah.
chief peddler. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like the leader of all of them. Um, and they find out that he's kind of a vigilante almost, and he will help you if your cause is good. And she feels like my cause is good enough. I need to go meet this boss. And so she ends up talking with the two peddlers who were in her village, saying, "Can you take me to him?" And she to see like it's a last ditch effort. There's not they have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So they're like, it's really rough, and she's like, it's fine. Like, I need to go and I need to meet him. And so they end up going off to meet the boss.
Yeah. And another thing is that they promise usually the boss promises to help them out, but they have to promise their loyalty to him,
Yeah.
but she has no problem to doing. And um, while this is happening, we get a scene of Sun 5 years later.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll save my comment about King Sun or peasant or sorry Prince Sun later. But Prince Sun and his bodyguards are like ninjas, and they sneak around someone's house or building. I'm not sure, and they see that Hagun's father is looking at the copper.
Hmm.
But then they're soon distracted by newcomers, and while the Pellers were walking with Guyon, they decide to take a break, and they happen to somehow take a break in the worst spot ever, which was Busuan's like base something, a base area or a house
Yeah.
that belongs to Busuan, and Guyon and the two pillars are basically forced to the ground, which is where we end.
Right. And I don't understand, like, they saw the smoke, like, I would understand. They saw the smoke and they're like, oh my gosh, we finally have, like, a place to go to take a rest. Because we still have, like, what, a half day's trip left or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And, I don't understand why the Kyunsuhui was like, oh my gosh, you're spies. You can clearly tell they, like, work for the pack people. I'm just calling pack people. I know they're called peddlers. But the pack people. And like they're not spies, and like her foot is bleeding for God's sake. She can barely walk. Like what kind of terrible spy would be like that? Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
I don't understand the
I
logic.
feel like maybe they're walking by and they're like, oh, that's not a good place to rest. And they're just walking by and they're like, stop, you spy. And they're like, we just walked by. How can we be
Yeah.
spies? Like, oh, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense if maybe they walked in there by accident and they're like, oh, like shitwads, we're not supposed to be here. And then the guy with straight hair now was like, hey, I know you. But it was like, you are spies automatically. Anyone in this like area, anyone in the world is a spy. Like it doesn't make sense. Um, but to episode 11. First off, why does Prince Sun look so much better with the way his hairstyle? I mean, like,
I was
oh
thinking the same
god,
thing too. He looks so much better
he
now.
does. He looks like Fabio.
He does not look like Fabio, but he
He has
looks
that
nice.
hair. He has that hair, Fabio
It
hair.
gives it gives me like Moonlight Drawn by Cloud
I
feels
knew
like
you were gonna say
Jisoo.
that. I
Jisoo,
knew. And the
shut
guy,
up.
you're being a pedo, a Nuna pedo.
I
Isn't
am
Jisoo
not.
being like? Isn't he like 18?
Jisoo, I don't know. The actor who's playing Prince Sun's like 23.
Yeah, we're good there. We're good.
How old is Jisoo? I have to look this up. Age. He's 24, you fucker. Sorry.
I thought he was younger.
Like,
Sans war.
I.
But, so,
So we finally get handsome Sun. Like,
yes. Oh,
looking
Fabio.
all badass in his ninja outfit. I was like, yay! And like,
Yes.
he's got his sword skills back, and he's 10 times better now.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And they kind of backtrack a little bit in this episode because they backtrack and we see that Prince Sun basically hears from the merchants that the merchants have to pay back all their debts all at once, and they kind of like basically lead to losing everything.
Hmm.
And there's already people losing their spots and losing their houses, and he can't understand why they would do something so risky. And Chunwoo, his bodyguard, was like, he's like he heard that Daemonk had a pile up of something, and so of course they went to go check it out. And while they were there, they saw that once again, Haigun's father was holding up a piece of copper, and then they see that Guyon and the two Pellards basically being thrown down because everyone thinks they're spies for some weird reason.
Hmm.
And of course the guy with ex bad hair is there, and he figures out that Guyon is there. And I just like, oh my god. I just have a feeling if you lock these two characters up in a room, someone's gonna end up dead. Someone's
Right.
gonna be dead. Um, and so, like, of course, uh, bad hair guy or ex bad hair guy was like, I will take care of this. And he takes out his knife or his sword, about to kill them. And then our two crazy ninjas come out of hiding and saves the day.
Right. And with their badassery freaking sword skills.
Yeah. And also, can we just like, so they save them, they run away, they somehow uh the bodyguard and Prince Sun get on a horse. I don't understand. Like, they got it pretty fast, and they stop some of the soldiers basically coming towards them, and the two pillars get separated from Guyon, and then Guyon and Prince Sun basically he like saves her, and while she's getting on the horse, the bodyguard uses his sword to block the arrows.
You know, we had another
What?
scene like this
No.
explain the audacity of this happening, but whatever, K-drama logic.
Uh,
He's like, run! And so they do. They get on the horse and they like trot off. And like in the most way too melodramatic
oh my
way, like
god.
freaking mask comes off his face and floats into the wind.
Oh my
And she
god.
his son slash Chunsu because she doesn't know his actual name. And when she says his freaking name, he's like, "That's not me." And he was way too fast with his answer.
Yeah.
I
I just want to
remember,
say about that horseback riding scene, it was awkward as fudge. Like, it was so awkward.
uh, oh my god! And then he's like, "I don't know who you think I am, but I'm."
Yeah.
And then gets on his horse and rides away, leaving her in the middle of the woods.
Yeah. What tool? Also, okay, I can kind of understand why he's like, I don't want you to know who I am. But then again, I'm like, she obviously just saw your face, dude. Like, just be like, hey, I'm, I'm this guy who you think I am. Like,
Right.
just don't lie. What's the point?
And like she wasn't even like Chonha, she wasn't like you're the prince. She's like you're Chunsu, and I remember you, and blah blah. And he could have been like, oh okay, like hey, how you doing? What's up?
Yeah, but I guess it has something to do with like I don't want her to see me because my like I killed her father, blah blah. But then again, it's like it wasn't. I mean, yeah, she was mad in the moment, but if she saw your face, she's like, "Oh my God, are you Chulsu?" And he was like, "No, I'm not." She seemed disappointed, so he shouldn't have just been like he shouldn't have lied to her. It was stupid to lie.
Right.
But we also find out that Prince Sun is the chief, aka the boss that
Right.
she's looking for, which is awkward.
Yeah, just a little bit, because like 5 minutes later she shows up and ends up having to like talk to him again. And she's like, Chunsu, and he's like, I'm not Chunsu, and then he's like, I'll take care of you because your feet are bleeding.
Yes, he's like he gave her shoes, um,
Which fit
and
her perfectly. Like, let's just put that one
yes,
out there. Like friggin' Cinderella.
exactly. Also, the prince is also looking into the copper going missing
Mhm.
too with his merchants, trying to figure out what's going on with that and trying to see what Daemonk wants with it. And then when talking to Guyon, she admits that he was her first love
Mhm.
and that she misses him, but she must be mistaken since he's not Cholsu. And I'm like, oh my god, I just want to shake the prince. Can I shake him, Sam? Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
ah, I'm so upset. I'm like, dude, just tell her like I'm sorry. I'm like, just be like I'm Cholsu. Like, why do you have to lie?
Well,
God, no.
he had the necklace in his hand.
Yeah,
If she saw the necklace in his hand, and he was still
yeah,
like, I'm not him.
exactly.
Like,
Um,
dude, 3 strikes and you're out. Like, she knows who you are. She's seen you twice. Now she's seen you for a third time with the dang necklace in your hand, like staring at it. Like,
yeah,
there's no denying at least you know her.
yeah, exactly. Um, which is so frustrating. So the queen, of course, gave up her seat, and she's very upset, kind of getting upset with the prince or peasant son, because he keeps accepting all of Daemonk's reports. And he's
Mhm.
not standing up for himself, because of course the queen doesn't know what's happening, doesn't know that he's poisoned and that every month he needs to take this pill. And like you said, he did stand up for himself. by declining the request to hang people for stealing water, which makes the queen happy because he's becoming stronger, braver, and and he'll be able to stand up to Monk. But then again, flippin', I hate Monk so much. He basically meets with Sun. Basically, Sun, our peasant son hasn't gotten his medication yet for the month, so the peasant son's basically dying.
Right.
And he basically makes peasant son beg for his life while scolding him for denying Pusawan's request.
Hmm.
And then like uh, he throws the pills down, and he throws it down, and he kicks it, and he makes like peasant son crawl to it like an animal, which I hated so much. Um,
Right. So he ends up he's helpless. He's like he doesn't know what to do. And so like he thinks the ultimate decision is that before they kill me, I'm going to kill myself.
yeah,
And he ends up going to this ledge. And ironically, it's the ledge that he thought that Prince Sun had fallen off of, or at least it looks
yeah,
like the same place. And one of I think he's one of the guards,
yeah.
comes
He's the guard.
and he grabs him, and um, Peasant Son freaks out because you're not supposed to touch royalty, but he's not royalty,
And
so
it's
who
not
gives a
supposed to
crap,
see his face too because he also took off his crown or
right?
his mask.
And he says to Peasant Son, he's like, "You saved my father. Like he was supposed to be one of the ones that was going to die. Like you saved him." And like the realization that like he has the power to save somebody, I think shocked him a little bit. Like he's never seen his power in action.
Yeah, he like because I feel like peasant son is like on auto drive. He just accepts Monk's request. Like that's what
Hmm.
he's there for. He's a puppet. And I think like that real like you're right, that realization that he could do something makes him break down, and he like breaks down crying. And that he's like, I saved someone, I was able to do this, and like it's just sad. And I just think that he's now realizing that he doesn't have to be a puppet anymore.
But he does because like
Or
Daymok holds
yeah,
the vial,
but
and that's unfortunate.
he can be smart. He can be smart about it though.
Right.
Um, so Prince and Guyon, they go to a meeting where the top merchants from all over the world will be meeting. And of course, at the time, Guyon does not understand why the prince brought her there because she's like, my village is a poor village. We're not very big. Why are we going to this huge meeting for big merchants? And the prince says, the merchants will all these big merchants will also feel a burden too.
Right.
And he's not rich, nor is he a king. So how will he figure this out? And of course, he walks into the meeting, and who is running the meeting? None
Psycho.
other, yeah, that crazy girl. And like I was like, oh my god! And then the minute she saw him, I was like, girl, don't go all crazy now. Don't go all Britney Spears. Like, calm it down.
Right.
Calm your hormones down. But
But
that
I
was
think she was more like pleasant. Like she was shocked. Like as far as like she knows, he's dead. Like she didn't know what happened to his body. It just disappeared. And
yeah,
now she's kind of like essentially moved on with her life.
yeah,
And there's actually a point too in this. I think it's in this episode when Hwagun's father is talking to Daemok and is like, "Aren't you proud of her? She's
yeah.
running like all these merchants."
And Daemon
Um,
does not look happy at all.
yeah, and like that's because like he's trying to control the currency, but she controls the product, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be some granddaughter grandfather fighting action some point in this, which would be really awesome. I kind of want some more character build with her.
Yeah, I do. I actually am starting to kind of like her a little bit more in episode 12 than I did in
Yeah,
episode.
episode 12, I liked her a lot more because she was less psychotic. But
Yeah,
we'll
she
get
kind
to
of like
that.
calmed it down a little bit more. I definitely, I do hope with that character, I hope that she doesn't turn around into be evil. I hope that she becomes a good friend. I know that she likes him, but I hope that eventually she turns into a good friend. Maybe
Right,
she and the bodyguard can go off together. But like, I hope that she can be a good friend and a good connection for Prince Sun.
right. And she's eventually gonna have to pick a side too.
Yeah, exactly. So, to lead on to episode 12. So, basically, all the merchants are freaking out. Be like, oh my god, Chief Peddler here. Uh, like, they seem to like him, which is nice. So, basically, the Prince Son asks them if they think that the crisis had been averted, aka, like, everyone owing debts and stuff like that. He asked them if, if the merchants, can lend money out to the people instead of paying for to the water bureau, and he says that if they want to save themselves, then they will have the same tragic fate later on.
Right. Um, and essentially what he's saying is that like if you feed into the greed, they're just going to become greedier.
Exactly, and
So you
exactly,
can't feed into the greed. Because as the money disappears, it's going to become their issue too, and then everybody's going to be out of a job basically.
exactly, and like while he's giving his whole speech, Haigun is like in love with him already. She's like,
Right.
I love you so much. Um, when they do like a little like stone voting, like where they have a black stone and a white stone and they vote,
Right.
and base and Gaia returns to her village, and she tells them that the big merchants are going to pay for their debts, which is amazing, and
Yeah.
also Prince Sun has to distribute the sorry.
Basically the loan process ends up coming with a catch. He has to find out what's going on with the copper is what the stipulation is. So there's no interest on it. We don't really find out like how they're supposed to pay it back, but the people have the money they need to live just a little bit longer and kind of like appease the Pyongsu Hui for the time being, Pyongsu Hui. Um, but like that's not going to be the end of it. This is just kind of a band-aid on a bigger problem that needs to be fixed. But it works for now. Um, and so Hwagun, she obviously recognizes him, and I think she was having a conversation with Gon, and she says that like she's not going to go after him as overtly as she did before because like she's not going to chase him away this time. Like this is in her eyes a second chance. And I like that her because I mean it's 5 years later, she's grown up a bit. So I like this. I like seeing this side of her. I like seeing that she's becoming more of an adult
Yeah,
and like I'm not going to just attack you with all of my might and my lust. I'm
and my
going to like
pins,
I'm going to be a friend basically is what I'm going to start doing.
which is the way you should have been.
Right?
Um,
But that is what it is.
yeah. And
So,
also, like, Hagen, I don't know if you mentioned it, but Hagen also, when she saw the prince talking to Guyan, I was like, girl, did not stab Guyan with a pin. Like, leave your pins at home. Like, and
right.
also I'm surprised that she was like, where's my mark that I left a pin on the prince. Like, where's that mark? Like,
Yeah, I think that's not going to come back ever again.
I hope
I
not.
think that storyline's gone. I really hope so. Um,
That was stupid.
so way back in episode 9, I think it was, Gon had asked for a favor to get into the palace with like medicinal herbs and everything. And now that request has come to fruition, and she now has the ability to head into the palace once again to go talk with the doctor that's there. And she ends up remembering about the pot that's supposed to be in this
Which you
greenhouse.
think she would remember it from like day one, where she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that pot is supposed to help me solve my father's murder." But
Right.
yep, you forgot about it. Ah,
And and the king, peasant's son walks right past her. And luckily she bowed her head straight down because he didn't recognize her. He just walked right past her, right into the greenhouse. But it probably wouldn't have been a good thing if he had seen her.
yeah.
Um,
I also love how in the greenhouse, peasant son and the guard are like best friends now,
I know.
and the guard is basically telling peasant son about his family and about like about how his family's doing, how Guyan's doing, and the bodyguard, sorry, the guard's like, well, why don't you go see my family? And peasant son's like, I would love to go see my family, but I'm afraid that Day Monk will use them against me.
Hmm.
and I don't want them to get hurt. So he doesn't want to go see them. And which is kind of like really sad because in fact that he wants to see his family but he can't. And I know like I'm really close to my family, so that would hurt really bad not to be able to see them. But obviously I
Right.
would do whatever I could to protect them.
And Morgan knows how close I am with my
Yeah, you're
family.
really
Like,
close to your family too.
and it's like, if anything was to happen, I mean, we've had a lot of issues in my family, medically speaking, and like I've been there for the whole thing. And it's like, I will go to the ends of the earth to make sure that everybody stays healthy, everybody stays okay, and like doing whatever I can to help. And
Yeah,
so, if I was
exactly.
put in this position where like I couldn't see them, it would probably destroy me.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be really hard. Uh, very hard. So, Day Monk hears about the chief peddler, about the boss,
Yeah,
and he wants more information on this person. And I'm like, boy, if you only knew who he really was, you'd be like freaking out.
I know, right?
Yes. Um, and
And
then,
Sun ends up going to Wubo for advice.
mm,
And Wubo apparently saw the same hairdresser as guy with the bad perm because his hair's dyed now.
yep,
He's now has, instead of all gray hair, his hair is actually dark again. I'm like, what the frig? Like,
yeah, he's
did we all
aging
decide?
backwards.
I know. I'm like, did everybody go? Because, okay, like, weird tangent, but Prince Sun's hair got nicer, Gotten's hair got nicer. I really like the way, uh, whatever Psycho's hair looks.
Haigu?
Um, yeah, Hygoon. Guy with the bad perms got better hair. Uh, Wubo's got better hair. I'm like, what is going on with the hairstyles here? Not that I'm
Also,
complaining.
I don't think you've noticed it, but Peasant Sun's hair turned from black to kind of like reddish color.
I didn't notice that, but like, did they all go, let's have a spa day? Like,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
deserve it.
We deserve a spa day. After 5 years, we deserve a spa day. Um, but yeah, they go there to talk to Woo Boo, like you said, and they talk about basically the copper and stuff like that. And they basically figure out they believe that Dave Monk is trying to control the money flow so he can make his own money. Which
Right.
the prince is like, no way. Like Prince is like, nope, not gonna happen. Um, so he goes to who does he go to? Psycho person.
Hwagoon.
Who must be dying. Like she's really like, oh my god, he wants to see me. Yes. Um.
And he remembers who she is
Well,
finally.
because she's like, do you remember who I am? And I was like, no, girl, do not be like that. Do not be that psycho person. Calm yourself down. Just be like, hey, I think we met a couple, years ago.
Right?
Like don't be like, do you remember me? Like
I
no.
had one of those incident like it wasn't like a do you remember me, but I had one of those like incidents today at work. There's this new nurse that's working and it's a male nurse and I go up to him and I'm like, "I am sorry. This is going to be really weird. I know that I know you, but I can't tell you where I know you from." I'm like, "You're super familiar to me." And he goes, "Oh, thank God, you look so familiar to me too." We finally
Did
figured out that we went to college together. We had a couple classes.
Oh, wow, that's crazy small world.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, we were in the same sociology class, and he's like, I was in the criminal justice department for a little while before I moved over. And he's like, but you look so familiar to me. And I was like, oh my God, at least it wasn't just me. And I was like, recognizing someone who would never know who the heck I am. So
Yeah.
just, it was just kind of a coinky dink of like parallels in my life.
Yeah,
Tangent
but
over, sorry.
let's think about it. How creepy it would be if you went to him and be like, do you remember me?
Yeah, but I didn't go, do you remember me? Like, I'm just like saying, like, she could have posed it as like, God, you look real familiar. Da 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 da. Like, how do I
Yeah,
know you? Let's put the pieces together, kind of like what I did
exactly.
today. And then we just kind of went through like, this was the town I was in. This is the school I went to. This is the college I went to. And then when he said the college that he went to, I was like, I went to the same college too. And it's kind of like you could play the narrowing game, even though you know exactly where you know him from.
Exactly,
There are ways
exactly.
around this.
So, back to the drama. The prince basically goes to Hagun to ask her about, because like, most of the copper comes from Japan. So
Yep.
he's asking her if she knows anything about the flow of copper and stuff like that. And she goes, well, I don't know, but I can give you a boat, and I can give you someone who can speak Japanese, who knows things about Japanese, who can help you over there in Japan. And the guy's like, and King Son was, or sorry, Prince Son was like, oh, yeah, okay, that sounds good. Thank you. You can give me that person. And of course, the next day, oh my god, the
It's
next
her.
day, she pops out of nowhere. So she's like, "It's me. I'm the person. I talked about myself in third person, but it's okay. It's me." But
Right.
can you talk about uh Wu Boo and uh Prince Sun Prince Sun and the bodyguard did to Muha?
Okay, so poor Muha. He, oh, I feel so bad for him, but it was kind of a fun scene. So they go and see him, and they're like they got him like super drunk off rice wine, like him and Wubo. But Wubo knew what was going on. He just wanted to be drunk. But Muha, he's told that if that he goes and helps, like he has the ability to be promoted, and he's like, really? And I can go to the boarding meetings and blah 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 blah. Wubo's like, yeah yeah yeah, and he's like, yeah okay, like whatever. So they hand him like this contract, and it says like, you go with us and you help, you'll be promoted to this official person. If you don't do this, or if like you're unsuccessful or you walk away from this, you must buy Wubo rice wine for the rest of your life. I'm like, that's the greatest
Yeah,
contract terms I've ever heard.
yeah. Well, he has to get copper.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I know,
but
and I
they
like
got
it when
him
he,
drunk and he signed it because he like signed by blood or whatever.
yeah, I
And
like
so
it,
he signs it, and then he's
yeah,
like, they get to Japan or wherever they are, the like Japanese area, and he's like, no, F it, I'm out of here. And they're like, we have a contract.
contract. But I like the fact when he was reading over the contract and he's like, I'll be made into a counselor. And they're like, that's not what it says on the contract whatsoever. But okay, dude. And he's like, I'm going to be a counselor. Okay, I will do it. And they're like, no. I also like the fact when they got off the boat, he was like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good.
They were like dragging him in.
Yeah. Also, the prince son gives Haigun his jacket on the boat. And I was like, don't do that, please.
You know what? I can start. This is going to sound really bad because she is psychotic, but I can start feeling a little bit of chemistry between them. And I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time with this because if it goes the way it seems like it's going, even though he's supposed to ultimately end up with Gun, I'm gonna have a hard time. I might actually have second lead syndrome for a female second lead for the first time if it goes the way it seems like it's
Yeah,
going.
I feel the same way too because like we are getting more scenes with Haigun than we are ever got with Guyan. I feel
Right.
like because what did Guyan ever do for him? She like left him. She wrote him a note saying that she wants to see his face, and then although Haigun's a little psychotic, she rescued him. She made sure she faked his death. She,
Right.
she's
Now she's helping him and
yeah,
like with her
and
language and everything.
yeah, so it's like kind of like what did Guyan do? Like, although I understand. Oh, sorry. Um, oh my goodness, my mic is messed up now. Oh my god.
So like while they're there at the like they end up going out to eat or whatever. Um Hwagun goes and talks with the Japanese person and is like what's going on? She was trying to go and get information on what was going on with the copper and everything. I can't really 100% remember the conversation. Something it had something
So
along the lines of like they'd heard rumors of pirates or something
yeah,
along those lines.
yeah. Well, the bodyguard actually found that they had reports of pirates, but and also Moonha was like, "I want to leave. I'm out. I'm completely out of this." And then that Ginseng comes, and her name was I forgot what her name was, but I have it in one of the episodes. Michan,
Yeah.
and and he's like, "Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for bringing me here." Because
I
like,
was like, you have no basis to like all of a sudden like he was like, okay, like I'm staying here, but what's his connection with her other than like he might I think he thinks she's pretty or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like he's like, "I'm in love with her already. That's my girlfriend. That's
He's the
my
new
wife."
psycho.
He's oh my god, he's a new psycho. Um, but Haigun finds out from one of her loyal um person that she trades with, that the pirate story may be made up, since a lot of times when you get robbed, you get angry, you get upset, you go after them, or you don't go after them, you just get angry. But these men, they come back and they start spending money, which
Yeah.
seems a bit odd, and it seems as if maybe a private sale is going on.
Hmm.
And then, do you want to talk about what happened when when Prince Sun
Yeah,
and
so Prince
Haigun?
Sun and them are, well, let's back up a little bit. So Prince Sun ends up seeing Hwagun's father and like kind of freaks out a little bit and gets up and goes running, and he ends up running into Hwagun, and he pulls her back into like the shadows and everything as they pass, and they're like super close. Like a kiss could have happened there. It was kind of
Yeah.
awkward and kind of like, I don't know how I felt about that scene. Um, so he ends up talking about the father and saying that he is the Daemak's son, and that he works with the Pyeonsu, and he calls them like these dark clouds that are over them, and like she kind of has like, you can kind of see it like flash in her face of like scared, angry, like all sorts of emotions all of a sudden, but then like she kind of just comes back a little bit and
Yeah.
doesn't really say much about it. But her father is sitting right there, and like that's such an awkward position to be in.
That is so awkward. And I can't wait to see what his reaction will be when he realizes that she is actually related to Day Monk.
Right,
Like,
and
I
that's
can't
going to
wait to.
cause some issues too. There's a lot of moving parts, and like I guess at the end of this drama, when everything comes to the like climax of it, it's going to be interesting to see like who's loyal to who, who's unloyal, and the connections they had prior to creating these new alliances, like how those old connections are going to play parts in it.
Exactly. Also, why did he tell her his plans in 2.4 seconds? Like, you don't really know her. Like, yeah, you kind of remember that she let you out of like, of your, I guess, prison, and drove, or not drove you, gave you her horse and stuff like that, and offer her boat, but you don't really
Yeah.
know her. You have
Yeah, but
no
at the
one.
same time, she's right there along with him, and she's given him no reason not to trust her so far.
Yeah, I guess, like, with the Pusawan, it's supposed to be a secret exclusivity. It's supposed to be a secret, but I feel like everyone knows who it is.
I know,
And
right?
and if you know how powerful they are, you don't know who, like, their spies are. So why are you playing like I hate Pusawan, um, your card, which is someone who you honestly don't really know. But the scene of the show ends with the prince being a ninja and going into Day Monk's room, and then
Well, originally it
realizing
wasn't the prince. Oh
it
yeah,
was.
no, the prince does go in, but like we see this like ninja person come in, and they're kind of like roaming around, and they end up like stealing copper or whatever, and then the prince son comes in right behind it and sees that there's a person, and so it's like you're trying to hide from the person sleeping and the ninja
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
also in the room. So
They were actually they're stealing a map though.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, because the prince then goes into the room and he sees like someone else is in there. He's like, what? I thought I was supposed to rob this place first. Like aren't we supposed to have schedules between ninjas? Like I don't understand.
and then they end up fighting, but like it's like the most quiet, and like I love that fight scene because it was like beautifully choreographed
It
and so
was.
quiet but so well done, and I was really happy with it. And ultimately, like when they get into like the lock, the like sleeve of the ninja that we don't know anything about, shows the bracelet that the Jisang was wearing, and then it's the end of the episode. Dun dun dun.
Yep. Da, da, da. And so that's the episode, and that's the end of our discussion. A final thought, Sam?
I like where this is going. I was a little worried with like how wishy-washy everything was, but I feel like the first few episodes, which you say first few, but then we started watching episode 9. But if we put it in the context of dramas, we're what is it? We're 6 episodes in of a 20 episode drama. So I can give it a little bit of leeway and say the first few episodes were, these are the people, this is the issue, this is what's going on. Now let's play this out a little bit. Everybody's in position for what's going to ultimately happen at the end. Am I making any sense?
No, yeah, you're making sense.
Okay, so they showed you where they started, and now this is like, it's called the hero's journey, and they're kind of like they're in their new world, and they're now starting to like come around the corner. I
Uh,
don't know how to explain this, but they're in their new spots, and now they have to play it out, and I like their new positions. I like how this is going,
yeah,
and everybody seems like a player. It doesn't seem like there's any unnecessary players.
yeah. Um,
Uh, except we don't know anything about Mei Chang or whatever her name is. So I'm
Mage.
interested to find out more about her too.
Yeah. For me, I actually am enjoying this drama a lot. I like the fact that there are literally two storylines. There's
Right,
like, or I guess three storylines if you count it, but I really would say two storylines. One, it's like the Prince Sun and his struggle to take down Pusawan, and I'm starting to see that he's gaining support and that he has his own like Justice League kind of thing. Like he has the bodyguard now, and I would consider Wu Bin and Mucha on his side, and now he has Haikun on his side too. And but I'm interested to see how Hygun's if she's gonna stick to that side or if she's gonna go over to her grandfather's side or what she's gonna do because once he doesn't love her and she realizes that he does not love her,
hmm
what is she going to do? Is she going to flip sides or is she gonna be loyal as a friend? Another thing is the peasant son side and Gaian's side, where peasant son believes that the king is dead
right,
and I don't think he would tell Guyon who the king is. Um, and so if Guyon ever sees um, Peasant Son's face, I think he would. I think they two would kind of form a team and try to take down Pisawang also.
right,
My thing is, why wouldn't Peasant Son tell the queen what's going on? And that's what I kind of find annoying. Although Peasant Son's a puppet, he does have people around him he can trust. I would assume the queen is someone that he can trust. And yeah, the queen might be pissed that he took his spot, but I feel like the queen's like, okay, let's fight. Like, let's fight. Obviously, she knows that Peasant Son's not her son.
right.
So that's my
I don't know.
thoughts.
And I feel like at some point, like the ultimate truth's gonna come. I think she knows. Like, well, we all know she knows, but like, and he knows that he knows, but like, they're not saying anything.
Yeah,
But when the ultimate truth comes out, when they both have to face the fact that he is not the rightful king. He is the real king. Like, let's put it. He went through the coronation and everything. You would have to assume he wears the red robes. He is the king
yeah,
right now, but he's not the legitimate king.
yeah,
And
exactly.
they all have to face the fact at some point that he is not the legitimate king and that Prince Sun will ultimately come back to the throne. And when they have to like face that reality, that's going to be really interesting. And I really hope the queen doesn't like freak out. And she doesn't seem like the way they set her character up, and she seemed like super caring toward the consort, and she seems to love Prince Sun, and I think she'll like come to accept that like everything they did was for the bigger picture, and like everything happened for the bigger picture, but also things just kind of happened too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, I don't know. I'm excited to see the rest of the episode. Sorry once again, you guys, for the episode. Our discussion videos coming out late, and I'm also probably gonna be posting these on Saturday or Sunday. I just been really sick all week, and I tried finishing editing our other discussion videos, but I was a hot mess yesterday, and I literally kept on throwing my laptop to the ground. So I'm not done editing them yet.
And I
So
had two exams this week,
yeah.
so I had to finish some stuff up too. And it's just our life got crazy all of a sudden,
Yeah,
and
and
like it came out of nowhere.
it's hard because it'd be easier if we only had two episodes or yeah really two episodes but four episodes to do, but unfortunately it's not like that. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I sound so pitiful. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, wait, like thank you so much. Like really, 감사합니다. Like we are super grateful for anybody who's listening to this. We're up to 33 subscribers now. which is amazing because like we thought we might have 10 at this point. Like, I think our goal, or at least my goal, was like 100 by the end of the year. And Morgan's like, no, that's not gonna happen. Let's just keep going. And like we're at 33. Like this is a real
I'm
possibility.
at 50. I just want 50 subscribers by the end of the year because like I don't
That would
like
be cool.
yeah.
But it's like it's not about the numbers. It's about our love for K-dramas, and I hope you guys know like how much we love watching these and discussing them. Like these are it's a lot of fun for us. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say except thank you
Thank
for all
you.
of your support, and if you want to comment. We want these to become discussion videos. We want to discuss it. If you don't agree with what we're saying, like tell us why you don't agree. We're not going to get mad. Or if you agree, then that's great. And like, let's talk about this and fangirl together, fanboy together, fan whatever together.
Exactly.
Because it's all about like the K-drama love. This is a huge community of people. It's worldwide, and we just want to kind of put our little stamp on it somewhere in the corner somewhere. So, I mean, we love you all, and thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Whee!
Bye.
Bye.
I hope they won't sound like a dying whale cat. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please feel free to give it a like. If you would like, you can subscribe to our channel. And if you want to check out our last week's discussion video, click somewhere on the screen because it'll be somewhere up here. And we will see you guys next time. Okay, bye. Not really bye, but bye.